affordability, it might be about to be an even bigger issue as economists sound the alarm, right? Politicians are about to make life way more expensive for you because their approach to the problem is fundamentally flawed. And that's because they're listening to big business instead of the experts who actually know what they're doing, right? Since affordability has become a buzzword in our political landscape, both sides of the aisle have offered their own solutions. Some have suggested putting a cap on credit card interest rates and extending mortgages to 50-year terms while axing taxes on tips, car loan interest, and overtime pay. Others have been pushing for freezing rent and utility rates and putting caps on grocery prices while also tossing around ideas to suspend seniors' property taxes and the gas tax, which sounds pretty enticing right now. And both sides have even found some common ground in forcing some institutional investors out of the housing market. And all of this, again, is in the name of making life cheaper for you. However, it has also left economists scared shitless. Scott Lincicome, for example, vice president of general economics at the Libertarian Cato Institute, said, "You can come up with a laundry list of these things that are very attractive to normal humans, but that repulse economists." And politicians may write economic policies, but the ones who actually know the science behind it, they say that, their solutions, they often cause other problems. Now, the catch-22 here is that politicians, they're at the beck and call of their voters, or at least they're supposed to be, often leading to economic solutions that Lincicome says are eternally seductive because they communicate to a political audience that you are stopping the price increases. However, these solutions, they also lead to other issues that have the opposite effect in the long run. And so, for example, when you look at things like grocery prices, you have Josh Bivens, the chief economist of the Liberal Economic Policy Institute, saying, if you try to push down grocery prices, you could actually start reducing supply. People might start going out of business or grocery stores close. Also, another example is the push for rent control that we've seen from people like Zoran Mamdani. There, you've actually got economists warning this could make landlords reluctant to invest in their properties, either out of retaliation or genuine financial strain, leading to degraded housing and less livable spaces. Though I will say, from both personal experience and just talking to friends, there's a lot of shitty landlords out there that are gonna kind of not make the best choices either way. But, we don't want to paint everyone with a broad brush. All of these concerns, they exist for almost all of the ways that politicians have offered to help with affordability. Right? So reports say that freezing seniors' property taxes, it could lead to higher tax bills for everyone else. Capping credit card interest rates, it could make it harder for low-income consumers to be approved for credit cards. But we, as average citizens, don't always see these risks because politicians only present the most instantly gratifying parts of these policies to save their seats in office. And so you have economists saying that the issues in these policies are all because Congress is working from the wrong end of the problem, which is why they suggest that we need more income. Experts say that the affordability issues, it would be better solved if we focused on things like reducing unemployment and strengthening unions. And the idea is that, we should be adapting to a problem that's here to stay rather than trying to pretend we can snuff it out. Jason Furman, for example, a Harvard economist who led President Barack Obama's Council of Economic Advisors, he said, "I think we are seeing more bad economic ideas than before because people are trying to solve a problem that doesn't have a solution." And yeah, that's very tough to hear, as many Americans have become one-issue voters only concerned with the economy. But what many Americans may not realize is that we may be fighting a losing battle if we don't start to see more of a separation between our politicians and big business. Right? Cash sitting high or getting slung at Capitol Hill, that's just been the thing. Right? That's to say, it's not new. This has been happening. Right? But with this president in particular, reports show that even using the most conservative estimates, the Trumps have made almost $4 billion off of the presidency in just about a year. Tariffs, those have been weaponized, causing businesses to nosedive. He's led unprecedented interventions into companies like Intel, and we've seen his billionaire buddies in high places with an oligarch level of influence in our government. Neera Tanden, a top Biden advisor and head of the Center for American Progress, you had her saying, "I haven't seen in my lifetime a president use the powers of the federal government to interfere with the market more than Trump." But also, when you look at our capitalist system, you look at the way things have happened, it's not surprising that it's happened. It's not to take any of the blame or the weight off of Trump, but we can't have big business funding campaign trails and cuddling up to politicians if we expect to see, economics centered around real people. And then also, we can't have politicians placating the public with quick fix economic solutions that just plant another problem for us to find 5 years later. And as now foreign conflicts are continuing to drive up prices for American citizens, and you got people continuing to search high and low for any job at all, let alone, one with a livable wage, you have to wonder, at what point is this affordability crisis going to come to a head? And what will it look like when, we show up to vote in the fall and in 2028?